Hello guys, GPD here with another video. Today we are back on Expedition 33 with another build that is going to make the game much easier and much more relaxing for you. This time we are doing a group buster that is quite literally going to melt every single multi-target encounter in the game. No mechanics, no dodging, jumping or parrying, just press one button and gone are all the nevrons. This time we are focusing on Lumia's favorite guitar player, Lune. I should mention however that this build, like the previous one, is only obtainable after you defeat the Paintress and unlock flying and diving with your favorite mythical abomination toy, SKA. Before we start going deeper into the build, I just want to take the opportunity here and thank you all for your support. While starting out the channel is not easy by any means, your support makes it worth the while, and believe me when I tell you that it means the world to me. Keep watching for as long as you can, it goes a long way with the algorithm, and if you like what I'm doing here and if you want more content like this, remember to subscribe to the channel. One tiny click for you is a big step forward for me. Back to the build. Like I've said previously, this build is a group buster meant to erase everything in a group encounter and therefore is not properly optimized for boss encounters. But don't worry, I got you covered there as well. When you do arrive at a boss encounter, there is an amazing build for Mael which you can see if you click in the upper right corner that is going to delete every boss encounter. To sweeten things up for you, the Pictos needed for this one are extremely similar to that one, so if you have one you'll probably have the other one as well. The weapon we will be using for this one is the Scabbard, since it is the single highest scaling weapon that you can get for Lune in the whole game. Now this one's a bit tricky to obtain, and therefore can easily be missed if you're not careful. It is hidden in the Fallen Leaf zone behind an extremely hard to find boss. The way to obtain this is, once you enter the zone, go to the young boy and exhaust all of his dialogue. After that, go back to the flag, around the big rock, and follow this road until you reach this creepy sap lady hanging upside down from the ceiling. Exhaust all of her dialogue as well, like you did with the boy, and go back to him. If you have done everything correctly, he will open the door behind him, clearing the path to the boss that drops the weapon. Follow the road, defeat the boss, and you will have obtained the Scabbard. Once you have the weapon, reset your attributes to Vitality, Agility and Might, and you're all set, when it comes to the weapon at least. I do need to mention that this weapon comes with some insanely strong perks. At level 4 it grants you a chance to generate a dark stain every time a stain is consumed, and yeah, by the way, you deal 50% more damage for every dark stain that you consume with skills. At level 10, your base attacks consume dark stains to deal 200% more damage, and at level 20, every time you have 4 dark stains, when you use a skill that consumes them, you deal 300% more damage. And if you think that this all sounds too good to be true, you're kinda right about that. While testing this build, I found out that it's extremely difficult to generate a dark stain for the simple reason that nothing ever stays alive long enough for you to generate any stain, let alone a dark one. But I did manage to generate them a few times, and when they do go off, they hit so hard that they reinstalled the game. But don't worry, you will not rely on them anyway, since, like I've said before, nothing stays alive long enough anyway. The Pictos we are choosing for this build are the ones with the highest point cost, so we can save up some Lumina points for later. My choice regarding that was going with Cheater, Survivor and Energizing Start 4, since that will save us up a total of 80 Lumina points, enabling us to use them later for some personalization if you choose so. You can also go with Second Chance if you like, since that costs 40 points, but I didn't, since honestly, the first chance is the only one we will be needing. As with every other build in the game, the real juice is in the Luminas. With this one we will be needing a total of 247 points to get everything that we need. If you don't want to hear me listing all the Pictos endlessly, you can just skip ahead. I'll be linking the details for every Picto in the description below the video. We'll be using Accelerating Last Stand to gain Rush when fighting alone, At Death's Door for an extra 50% damage when fighting alone, Augmented First Strike for another 50% extra damage, Auto Death combined with Survivor to bring us to that 1 HP where we get a lot of other buffs and beneficial status effects, Confident Fighter for an extra 30% damage, Energizing Powerful to get 2 AP on applying Powerful, Empowering Last Stand to gain Powerful on battle start, Energizing Start 1 to 4 with Energizing Turn to fill our AP bar once the battle starts, Energizing Start from 1 to 4 combined with Energizing Turn to fill up that AP bar, First Offensive for an additional 50% more damage, First Strike to ensure that we always go first, Glass Cannon for an extra 25% damage, Greater Powerful for an extra 15%, Immaculate for an extra 30%, Immediate Stress to give us 3 shields on battle start, Inverted Affinity to get the inverted status effect on us, Last Stand Critical to ensure that we always have 100% crit, Painted Power to exceed the damage cap, Powered Attack to increase our damage by 20%, Powerful Shield which is going to give us 10% extra damage per shield point, Protecting Last Stand to get Shell when fighting alone, Shield Affinity to get another 30% damage, SOS Rush and SOS Shell to give us Rush and Shell when we drop our HP, Solidified to give us 2 more shields, Shield Affinity for an additional 30% damage, Soul of Fight to get an extra 50% damage, Tainted for an extra 15% damage per status effect, and finally, Roulette for a chance to deal either 200% extra damage or to embarrass yourself by dealing 50% damage, which by the way is still going to one-shot encounters along your main path through the game. The execution of this build is as simple as it possibly can be. Start the encounter, press the button where your health skill is bound, go home cause everything is dead. Jokes aside, there are actually 2 ways of doing this. The first one being the one button head smash where you will use hell and everything will instantly melt in front of you, and the second one for when you are facing off against fire resistant enemies where you will have to press a total of 2 separate buttons in the right order. If you find yourself surrounded by fire resistant enemies, or if you have a situation where your enemies don't have the same health pools, you will start the battle with Elemental Trick on one of them to generate 4 stains, and then you will go full apeshit on them with Elemental Genesis. In almost all cases this will end the fight. Even in most single target scenarios, going with Genesis will deal enough damage to finish off the fight. I've tested this build in every high tier encounter in the game and there's literally one encounter I couldn't OTK with it. Everything else got completely erased from the game. The one thing that bothers me in this build is that you never get the chance to see the full force of the Scaverim when it has 4 Dark Stains, giving you a total of 300% extra damage. But then again, if I have to pick a drawback for my builds, it's definitely going to be the one where my enemies don't live long enough for me to see the full power of it. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching guys, especially to those who endured me all the way to the end. Stay tuned for more content, and if you like what I'm doing here or if you have any suggestions on what games to cover next, drop a comment and subscribe to the channel. Thanks again and see you in the next one.